kwekọtara ha ga-eme ka obodo wee dị mma.
Igbo kwenu! Igbo kwenu! Igbo kwezuenu o! Ọ bụrụ na bụ ezigbo onye Naịjirịa aga m eme na-edosa ụzọ anya ụcha oge niile na-akwụtụsi n'ụzọ eziokwu na-emere ndị agbata obi anyị ebere. Ndị ọchịchị ga-arụ ụzọ ọma na-abịa, wuo ụlọ ọgwụ ọma na Anambra, mee Enugu ka ọ dị nchebe ehihie n'abalị. Nkwekọrịta gọọmenti na nzaghachi ndị obodo, ụmụnne m na ụmụnna m bilie ka anyị bulie Naịjirịa elu. Nkwekọrịta ndị ọchịchị anyị ga-aza, ọnụ obodo anyị ga-eme ya. Ọ bụ nkwekọrịta anyị na anyị ga-eme ka Naịjirịa gaa nke ọma. Nchebe gburugburu mebe obibi onye niile. Ndị ọchịchị ga-eweta ahụike. Ọ bụrụ na nrọ ọrụ ike mụta aka ọrụ, ndị ọchịchị ga-emepe ụzọ ọrụ n'Ebonyi Imo. Ọ bụrụ na nkwanye ugwu nye agbụrụ niile n'otu ndọrọ ndọrọ ọchịchị, ndị ọchịchị ga-ekpe ikpe ziri ezi nye onye ọbụla. Anyị jikọtara ọnụ. Nkwekọrịta gọọmenti na nzaghachi ndị obodo, ụmụnne m na ụmụnna m bilie ka anyị bulie Naịjirịa elu. Nkwekọrịta dị ọchịchị anyị ga-aza, ọnụ obodo anyị ga-eme ya. Ọ bụ nkwekọrịta anyị na anyị ga-eme ka Naịjirịa gaa nke ọma. Naịjirịa obodo mmanụ aṅụ na mmiri ara ehi na-asọ, ụzọ ọma o, ụlọ ọgwụ ọma o, ebe obibi ọma o. Igbo ndị ọma pụtanụ ka anyị yọleba onye agbakwala nke nwanne ya gbara. Let's go!
Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu na Imo, anyị ga-ekwe nkwa na anyị ga-eso ụzọ asaa na asaa ndị na-achị anyị wepụtara.
Powered by National Orientation Agency. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Africa is on the move, a continent of rising voices, untold stories, and powerful transformations. From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Nairobi, from the mines of Congo to the tech labs of Cape Town, the African story is being written every day. Bold, dynamic, unstoppable. This is Africa News on Voice of the People Television. We don't just bring you the news. We analyze and bring you Africa's heartbeat, the politics that shapes our nations, the economies that drives our future, the cultures that defines who we are, the voice that must be heard. Africa News, Africa's voice, Africa's future. Where Africa speaks, the world listens.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand.
Welcome to the Locker Room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Appion. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the Locker Room and Voice of the People Television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not 20 minutes, with the sport.
And it's Hakim Ziyech.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Arpillon. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time.
Yes, I could say obviously there's no better way of starting up a show this day. I could say good morning, welcome to the Sports Republic Time Out right here on the best place to be. It's a Sport Time Sports Republic show coming to you from the studios of VOP TV, Voice of People, Lagos, Nigeria. I feel very excited to be on the show, if not for any reason, for the fact that the people that I love so well are now part of the World Cup. Shout out to the manager, this Bray, and also shout out to the players, Machuako, Wan-Bissaka, Zembe with a goal. We did see that one. Mbampe, Chancellor Mbampe, I recalled his name. And then talk about Matusami in the midfield. Earlier from the right side, Sadiki, Bakambo, Wan-Bissaka, talking about the other man, Wisa. I love what I saw yesterday, and I made sure it was a long night for me because right I was done with that game. I also saw the Croatian side playing against Brazil. But let's talk about the one concerning Africa, and we must say Africa dominates. So they made us proud. 10 sports, that 10 are completed. We could say it was 9 from you could say. And if it was Jamaica, it would have been the other way. But right now, Africa now, 10 nations represent Africa at the World Cup. So we'll see 10 representatives of African countries at the World Cup, and that's how nice it is. But from the Congo side, what we saw yesterday, I don't know if it's a big slap to Nigerians at this point in time, but we must give credit to who it's due, what this Barry has done with this team, and also how far they played. It was more like a team that knows what they wanted, and they got to that phase. So we must say congratulations to Congolese people, or to the Congolese people, for being part of the World Cup 2026. You recall the last time they know this one. But for the Super Eagles, bad news out of the World Cup. No playoff. Drew yesterday to a last side called Jordan and route to the World Cup. And I recall I said on the show the other time to you, I said something, and it struck my mind as well. I said, if I want to talk about Jordan, no disrespect, I would rather go to the Bible, go to my Bible. I'll just go to King James Version, and I will Google Jordan, and I will talk about Jordan. But a team who we felt were the smaller side, the Super Eagles got a draw yesterday with them. But let's talk about the Congolese now to start with, because they are the most side to be celebrated on the soul of Africa. You know why? Because they've made us proud. So we have 10 and 10. But there's a man we should be talking about as well, an iconic supporter who stood there at that sort of very game. For the Congolese people, we'll have to show you on your screen so you can remember, just like I put a reminder to your face, your mind, so you can know who we're talking about. This man would not be part of the World Cup, but this is qualified, back on board with a celebration, past celebration. And then Congo, an iconic man, you could say a supporter, who we know, who we love, we've seen him stay and made a ground. This is the man I'm talking about. You can see it's written out there, the iconic Congolese supporter who performs this act aiming to provide spiritual strength to the national football team has confirmed he won't be attending the World Cup despite his efforts. And the reasons are, I don't know. I wish this can be over. I wish there's a way around this. It's heartbreaking to say this man stood his ground at the Morocco time when we saw the Nations Cup, and then visa issues are reasons why we will not be seeing this man at the World Cup. Stand out for the Congolese people. But if there's any way they can do it, please just find a way around this. Get this man at the World Cup. He's made a mantle. He's shown us that, yes, a Congolese legend can be talked about. And then freedom fighters should be remembered and also recognized. But on the show today, to help us talk this through, we have, I could use the word a media expert, versatile in whatever he wants to do. And this time around, he'll be talking sports with me on the show. And we have Atta, you could say Atta, with us here. Atta, good morning, great to have you.
Yes, good morning, and thank you for having me today.
Yeah, so we talk about Congo, first of all. Were you happy to see Congo making to the World Cup?
Yes, I'm happy for them, and they have done the needful. They have put their expertise. They have equally shown that they are physical, they are versatile, and they want it. So let them go.
Is that a slap to Nigeria?
Well,
because this side got us off.
This is about the second time we have failed to make the World Cup.
Right, consecutively.
Yes, we're not there last 4 years, and then now we are not equally there again. It's bad. We're not just a giant of Africa for nothing. And then more importantly, that if you look at the last Nation Cup, the former Nation Cup thereabout, we played a final thereabout.
Oh, that was Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast.
2023.
And then we lost. And then this one again, we played what?
Yeah, we played against Egypt.
Egypt again.
Yeah.
And then
but we
lost at either the semi-final or quarter-final thereabout. You see that indeed at the local level within Africa, we are doing well. But when it comes for us to compete and go global, we are not putting expertise. Our players are forming big. Is it that they are bigger than the nation itself? It's not done in other parts of the world. People submit to the leadership of the team, which is the coach, which is the authority. You don't just come and then be filibustering up and down as if you are bigger than the nation itself. So I give it to them. I give it to what
DR Congo.
DR Congo.
I think I would say they look like a team that understand what it takes to go to the World Cup. When you watch them play, the resilience is there, the determination. They understand what a World Cup is. I'm not saying Nigeria don't, but when we look at 90%,
we have more World Cup appearances
we have 6.
more than them. Yes.
We have 6.
So they are hungry for it.
Oh,
but we are very reluctant. We are not concerned. We are not bothered. Look at what we played towards the qualifiers to the World Cup. How can you describe that as our best performance so far? For me, it's 0. They are not serious.
Okay, the Super Eagles you heard from Atta right here on the show today, they are not serious. But quickly, let's bring to you, to your notice, which we're talking about African teams that have made it to the World Cup. These you have on your screen. These are the teams that have qualified, that have made Africa proud to a high level. And you know one thing about this setting is the fact that we have a 48 format, a renewed, a revamped one, where we saw, Gianni Infantino, the FIFA president, come to say we are having a different format. And how bad it is that 10 nations representing Africa, no Super Eagles, no Nigeria. And you have on your screen Algeria, Cape Verde inside, DR Congo, who were the last to just join yesterday, Egypt, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Morocco, Senegal, South Africa, Tunisia. So let me first start from the Algerian side. This side also were hungry for this World Cup, and they put in a lot of effort, and that's how far they got there. Cape Verde side, people said they are minnows in the game, and how surprising they are. They've gotten us a surprising result. And DR Congo, the latest, the recent of them all. I love what I saw. Matusami was just at the right part. Sadiki will be at the World Cup. Mashako will be at the World Cup. Tanzania at the World Cup. Makambu Mbuku, my friends, all at the World Cup. Good to see Congo making it to that one. And also for Egypt, well, decent result yesterday we saw against De La Fuente side. They struggled and they got a better result against the Spanish side, even though it did not go any side. Both sides shared the point. And for Ghana, who just lost their coach just a few months to the World Cup, Otto Addo, we'll talk about him shortly on the radio and also on TV. We've talked about him before. And then Ivory Coast also are there, Morocco, Senegal, South Africa, Tunisia. So these are the teams who have made us proud, right, I have to say. But looking at the screen, looking at these nations, just heard me say, which of them would you say is the most surprising to be at the World Cup for you from African shows?
Well, I will give it to, if you say the most surprising, I will give it to, I will give it to, well, if you look at the list, I can say all of them, they're worth it.
Yeah, okay.
You're worth it, because I would not want to condemn any country.
But regardless, there should be a surprising one.
I'm not surprised about them because they went out for a competition and they did exceedingly well and they are there. So we cannot start by giving an impression that we're not going to go far. And all the countries that you see there, both from the West Africa, both from the North Africa, because I can see about 4 countries from the West Africa there, North Africa there, because more importantly, they are the one that will go far, apart from Senegal. Tunisia, Morocco, Algeria, and one other country, they are North Africa. They play like the Europeans because they share boundaries with the Europeans. Basically, most of their doings are like the Europeans. You see that they share boundary with Spain and some other European country. So that is why you see them. They operate and they play football like Europeans. So then, if you look at the black Africans, among the black Africans, you have Senegal there. Senegal, they went far in the last competition thereabout. And then for me, I think that all of them are fit and proper. We have 10 now, and it's a good development.
Okay, yeah, you heard from him. He's just rated basically, well, the word is dark Africans, you can say. We don't like to use black because we're not racist anyways, but I understand what he's saying. But I look into Senegal. Who are your champions? Who are your African champions? Who are your African champions recently? Who would you say, who are the champions of Africa? Who won the Nations Cup the last time?
Well, if you look at that, where is it called? You mean the Nation Cup?
Yeah, the last one, the Nations Cup. Senegal won it, but now we're heading is about CAF trying to do overturning, giving it to Morocco. So who would you say, right now, on paper, we have Senegal, but with the scenario going on between CAF and CAS,
the matter is the subject of appeal.
So, okay. So, but do you see that Senegal have been stripped off?
Senegals have appealed the decision of CAF, and we're still waiting.
We are waiting for CAF.
For now, the trophy is still with Senegal. So for me, Senegal is still the
champions.
The champion for now, except that CAF, what is it called, FIFA, or the other regulatory body that is currently handling the appeal, decide to set aside the decision of CAF.
Okay, so we wait. No, like I said, someone asked me a question the other time. I said, what if a small or just a young boy runs to me just on the street and say to me, "Sir, with all due respect, I want to know the African champions for 2025. What would you say?" The scenario is still very high. Patrice Motsepe, the CAF president, is still very furious about what the parade that the Senegalese have just done a couple of days back, and also they are still having to tint more on their badge. They are like the military people now, so they have got 2 stars right at their jerseys. But we'll have it stripped off. It takes about time. We're waiting for the CAS, the Court of Arbitration, to come out with the verdict, and let's see how this can be, talked about, how it can be weighed if Senegals are truly the champions. Well, moving to the World Cup, I really don't think Pap Chow should be thinking about that. All they need to do is just be focused and go play yourself. Now, from one story to the other, let's talk about what happened yesterday as well. A very heartbreaking scenario for Gennaro Gattuso. I'm very sure he'll be fired very soon, just in a couple of days, because Italy have lost out on the World Cup for the 3rd time consecutively, and we remember their story, how bad it is. Donnarumma could not stop any of the side yesterday from getting the result, and it went so well for Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Edin Dzeko, he got off the game with an injury, but for a player like Sandro Tonali, for the first time and ever in his life, he's never played a major tournament for the Italian side. So how bad is it for Italy that they are not part of the World Cup? And can I share with you, they are always a contender when it has to do with World Cup. That's a World Cup winning team, what we saw. Now look at this. Look at the statement that comes from the manager, Gennaro Gattuso. He said, "I will take credit if I manage to achieve the goal. Otherwise, I will go and live far away from Italy." This is a heartbreaking message before the very game. And yesterday, they were not good enough to stop the Bosnia side. They got a red card. Moise Kean also, we saw the goal, and it felt like they were on top of the game, even with the red card. But later on, penalty missed by Cristante, penalty missed by Esposito, who made his debut for the side. And then you can see right now, congratulations to Bosnia for making that record. So I feel bad, sincerely, myself. I really would have loved to say Italy. I'm not trying to be biased here, but a team like Italian side have got Giacomo Raspadori, they've got Nicolo Barella, Moise Kean, Cristante, Bastoni. I love what they've produced so far. And I look at Italy and I say, this is a team that we should be seeing at the World Cup. And they are now bad. I think I could say they are worse than Nigeria because we just missed 2 consecutively, but they're 3 in a row.
Yes, you see that the region that Italy they are from is very competitive. That is Europe.
Right.
Every country there is a threat. And they're all doing exceedingly well. You see that those underdog that you underrate, they will come out and then hit at you so hard. And that is what we witnessed yesterday against Italy.
Surprising results.
And then more importantly, I don't see Gattuso as a fit and proper person to pilot the Italian national team. You need somebody more tactical, more experienced, who has a vision. Gattuso is not, the experience is not there. Look at his history, look at his antecedents. And then for me, I think the World Cup will definitely miss them. These are a country that will often made it to semi-final or quarter-final, as the case may be. So for me, this is about the 3rd time, like you said. They are not making it. But this is about the 2nd time. We in Nigeria, this is about the 2nd time. So let them go back and go and regroup. It's not compulsory.
How long would they regroup? 3 times in a row?
Regrouping is a continuous exercise. You cannot just fail and then retire back. You must go out and rebrand yourself. You look at the mistake. You look at whether it's the coach that is grossly incompetent. You look at whether it's the players. You look at whether it's the goalkeeper. You look at whether it's an internal issues in the country.
So something is wrong somewhere.
Yes, something is definitely wrong. Just like how we have in our dear country, we have all what it takes to make it to World Cup. And how can we where is it done that our dear country is going to play, what is it called, playoff, thereabout. That is rubbish. I do not agree with that. So for Italy, I think that they need to go back to the drawing board and see, because for me, I don't think Gattuso is fit for the job.
So if I get you right, to support Gattuso should be fired. He should be leaving. He should leave.
Yes. If you cannot give out results, then you leave. Nobody reinforces failure. Once you are a failure, it's common with the whites.
Okay, I'll come to that part where you talked about if you can't give us results. We'll talk about the Nigerian Football Federation. No World Cup consecutively twice, and they are still in office. But we'll look into that space very soon. But let's let you know that breaking as well, before that game, making fun of their rivals. When we saw Bosnia being tipped to play Italian football, or saying Italy will play against Bosnia, do you know what happened? I must tell you, the Italian fans were making mockery of the Bosnia people. They felt like it was a walk in the park. Look at your screen. Buffon, Gianluigi Donnarumma, Jorginho, all of these guys, bad result for them. And I'll tell you, March 26, Bosnia beat Wales. Italy players were seen laughing and mocking after learning that they will face Bosnia in the final. And just yesterday, March 31, Bosnia beat Italy and knocked them out of the 2026 World Cup. And all you can say in a matter of days, you can now understand that football is no manual. And I must say this, congratulations to those who will be 40, or more than 40 rather, playing out the World Cup. Roger Milla, never watched him play. We know the story. Ryder was playing for Cameroon. He made that record, 40 years at the World Cup. And then Luka Modric, then another man again, Cristiano Ronaldo. And lastly, now we'll talk Edin Dzeko, who is the recent one to join the elite in that very phase. So I must say, congratulations to Bosnia for that massive result that we saw yesterday. And from that one, we talk about Swedish. I don't know how he does it, but let me say, Viktor Gyökeres, Arsenal, leading goal scorer. He has done well. Big boots, big buy from Sporting CP, and we must give this, respect, better word, to one man, Graham Potter, the Englishman. The only thing he came to do was just to see that the Swedish people make it to the World Cup. And we saw the iconic celebration, Elanga and also Gyökeres. I think that was Lacazette and Aubameyang celebration. We'll bring that to you so you can see. But Gyökeres team, Sweden, making it to the World Cup. And it's feeling great to see that a man who, I can simply say, he personally took them to the World Cup. Aside the coach's effort, but Gyökeres has lived up to expectation. No Alexander Isak. And you watched Gyökeres yesterday, he was still that man. Who knows when the goal was right? We want to see big players score in big matches. Look at this iconic celebration. Elanga, he was so pacey, and this is the celebration I love so well. Iconic. Arsenal fans should be used to this very well as the Sporting CP fans in Portugal. Now, this is the iconic celebration I love so well. Sweden to the World Cup, how good is it for Gyökeres and his team as well?
Well, it will boost his morale. More importantly, that his club in Arsenal, they are currently competing for, what is it called?
The Premier League.
The Premier League. And then, importantly, that they equally lost a trophy to one of their rivals.
Yeah, City, Carabao Cup.
So, for me, I think that this is a big boost for him. It will boost his morale. And then, more importantly, that he scored in the game that ushered them to the World Cup. It will continue to boost his stake, both at the club side and all over. Because once you continue to lose and then you lose and then you lose out, it will affect you directly or indirectly. So for me, I think it's fair that they are making it to the World Cup. They have done very well. They have done exceedingly well. It's just that things is so bad for Isak right now, both at the club level. He also have stayed back in Newcastle, thereabout, as against leaving for Liverpool. That the front line, the coach is even confused right now. He just went and exceedingly on the frolic on his own. He was just signing players. But how to use them is very important. And they are going to continue to further have more issues if Mo Salah leave by the end of the season.
You can say so?
Yes.
But I don't really think so, though.
Well, they are already having issues.
But is it Salah thing?
As to, you need to see how you can feed in your replacements to your players that are set to retire. He's not clearly exhibiting and showing succession planning, the management. So it matters.
Okay, so from one result to another, let's talk about Turkey. They yesterday played a game, and for the first time, when we talk about the Italian side, for the 12th time, Italy has not been part of the World Cup. And now for the first time since 2002, Vincenzo Montella has been great with the Turkey side, and now they were playing at the World Cup. They also made it there at Agule, and the rest of the guys, how good they can. This is the Turkish side. They are now part of the World Cup. Hakan Çalhanoğlu, penalty taker, and he knows Akaciloglu, so this team is good to go. What I must say, the Vincenzo Montella, the Italian international, this is like, Atta is saying right here on the show, These are kind of personalities who play the game. And it's not everyone that plays the game that should manage the game. Let's make it right. That you play the game to a high level doesn't determine that you should be a manager. But sometimes you have to go back and make things right, just like Frank Lampard is currently doing. Vincenzo Montella is an Italian international. Would they want to go for that very man? He's tired. He's already cup tired as well. So he'll be doing the job with the Turkish side, and that's for the World Cup. So while we have to see Gennaro Gattuso just wallow somewhere down the fucking order with Spain. Now let's bring you this one. I think the one we had before was Walid Regragui, the Moroccan coach who just left the job 3 months to the World Cup, and I felt like that was just done. But recently in Africa, it continues to grow. Every story, every day, different version of the game, where we have this one now. Otto Addo has been relieved of his job after the 2-1 with Germany side, and I think I saw a different Ghanaian side in the German friendly, because it was more like they wanted to play for the manager. That was what was missing, absolutely. But you see this man, he knows the Dortmund job so well. So technically he's gifted, but I wouldn't say I know what went wrong with the Ghanaians. But looking at the World Cup, so let's talk about this, Atta. What would it be for a nation who will be playing at the World Cup, few months to the World Cup, letting your manager go? Can there be a strategy to make sure that Ghana side stay out well? Because I look at a team that's built what they are playing right now, even though they've not been fantastic in recent times. But football is also about the coach methodology and style. Like Nigeria, Eric Chell, different version. We are love to dominating. We are used to dominating. We used to have the balls. And that's what Eric Chell has done. That's the difference between Pesero, Eric Chell, the difference between Eguanfon and the rest. But now we have this man, Otto Addo, now relieved. I don't want to connect it to the Moroccan side because the Moroccan talk is quite different. Walid came out to say, I'm done here. The Moroccan football need a new face. So he accepted it. More like he doesn't want to dent his career CV, I don't know, because he did well with Morocco, regardless of whatever comes out of the World Cup. But for Ghana side who are struggling, letting your coach go few months to the World Cup, how detrimental could it be for them?
Well, it's not as detrimental as you feel. You can't speak for them because they may have their plan. And there may be a plan on going to bring somebody with experience, who is an expertise at times.
Within a short time?
Yes. Because there's still about 4 months. And some countries just qualified.
It's not up to 4 months. This is April. It's a new month. I could say happy new month. Oh. April, May, June is June.
Thank you. Yes, about 3 months, thereabouts. Let me give you a practical example. Some nations, some country qualified last night. So their planning, their major planning will start from today. So it's not that all the players are going to camp in one place to start planning for World Cup. The league all over the world is going to finish sometime in May, thereabouts. And then you start calling your players. You have at least about 3 weeks to 4 weeks to train with your players. You must have experience. You must go and look at the video clip of your players, how they play from their different club side, and then you know how to fit them in. You must be conversant, and then you follow football over time. You can pick if you are a better manager. So it's not by how long you have spent, but how effective and how efficient you can produce results. Time matters in some situations, but however, if you see somebody who is experienced, who is an expert, who understands the terrain, he can bring out the best result. Look at Carrick. Since he came. Look at Michael Carrick.
Turn the team around.
As against, Man U have not lost about 3 games since he came. And then we have Manchester United have succeeded in defeating most of the bigger clubs in England.
Premier League.
So you see, it's not by the time. He has not even signed any player.
Right.
He has not signed any player.
He's making do what he has.
Yes. That's a clear example for you that Ghana can equally pick. Once you have an experienced person in charge, he can come on board and then quickly pick from there. Football is all about experience. Once you are experienced and then you know what you can do, you know you can bring out your best player, you can do them within a short period of time. Carrick is a clear example. He's better than the last 2 coaches that Manchester United
has. Ruben Amorim, I know. Okay, so you heard from him, and let's run and talk about the very nation that will be missing the World Cup consecutively, Nigeria. And yesterday, they got a result wrong for me. I felt like these guys in the middle. 2-2 with Jordan. Was it a well-expected result? Okay, I look at the team, even see, it's not an exaggeration. We can pick players from the MPFL. No disrespect to Jordan. They are going to play another World Cup, but we can pick a team. I'm being sincere. I understand what a friendly looks like. I know how it works. We saw the Brazilian play. We saw the Japanese winning yesterday against, Thomas Tuchel's side. That was very, very, intriguing to see. Karol Mitoma right there. He knows them so well. He scored against Pickford. And for the first time, the English side lost to an Asian nation, and it happened yesterday. So it's a biscuit game, and you can say it works anyway, it cracks from anywhere. But for Nigeria, the Iraq score we got 2-1, where Moses Simon scored yesterday as well. The Iraq game, we didn't celebrate it because even with the Tarimani goal, even with that result, we felt like we should not be playing this one. We should be playing at the World Cup. They play a friendly that prepares us for the World Cup. It's more like we're just playing the game, preparing other sides. Now, I've never seen a Nigerian who celebrated that result. So the only thing the Super Eagles needed to do at this point is just to put a smile on people's faces. Millions of Nigerians who love this game. And you went out, this is how, it shows how, I don't want to use the word poor because I love Eric Chell and I love what he has done, but it shows how unprepared we are to be at the World Cup. Jordan 2, Nigeria 2, I did not see it coming.
You see, that's the point we're making. They are not committed. They are not disturbed. You are going out to play friendly. You don't know that it will add up to your track record.
Right.
As we are going to play them subsequently, the competitor will mention your track record with them. Oh, Jordan, this and that at a point you played. So when you have opportunity, you hold on to it. You don't allow that record to slip off your hand. It's not done. So for me, my point is clear. This is a clear indication that they are not even fit and proper. The Super Eagles, they are not ready for the World Cup. And the result yesterday with Jordan side is a clear indication that we are not ready. 2-2, it's unacceptable.
Okay, so from that result, we talk about the coach in the bait, Eric Chell, and the team. Everybody felt like we should have, we should have a different team. And Ozoho's, bad record continues. We saw yesterday, Malik Okoye back to Udine, and then Ozoho got opportunity to mount the post. And we all know if it was a bigger tournament, or major tournament rather, we would have Stanley Nwabali. But Nwabali right now has no club. He's clubless, and I love what the manager has done. And these are kind of managers we want to have in our team, who can decide what happens in time. But I recall, let's take it back to you where you started talking. You talked about timing, and you also talked about when you're not doing well, you should be laid off. And I want to believe that we have a federation, which is the NFF, Nigerian Football Federation, and I also want to believe that they are respected, or also what they report to a bigger organization. So we have a hierarchy of the NSC, the Sports Commission, generally. We have the Nigerian Football Federation, not just other one. NFF is strictly football. We have the tennis, we have the basketball, we have all of the games. It's NSC that governs. So NSC is bigger than NFF, if you want to look at it from that aspect. But these persons I've never heard, since I was born, never heard where you could say an NFF personality or person or media officer, any of them was old. I've never heard it. It's more like they earn every time. But I say something sometimes, people feel like you want to be this way. I love America, I can say. I love America because of transparency reasons. I'm not saying corruption does not happen elsewhere, but I think it's about how minimal it is. And in Nigeria, this is very clear. The corruption, the lack of transparency, the accountability. You can't. These people do this like it's a right. It's not like it's a ritual. No fear. We just do it and nothing happens. Now we have a nation. We have a body that governs our game. For 2 times in a row, we missed out of the World Cup. Why I reference America? I've watched clips, I've seen on TV where a minister failed his people. He came out on radio, he came out on TV, and he said, I have failed in my job. With all due respect, I resign. Put pen on paper, and he dropped it. What happens to a man who is like that? I think dignity, integrity, you get more respect. But look at our federation. Every time we fail, it's more like a Thanksgiving for them. I don't want us to talk about the petition, the news we heard, the report we heard that says why we did not make it. We filed the case, but we did not follow it up. I don't want us to talk about the part where I believe that they were given that money, but they did not do it. Let's keep that aside. But let's talk about those people. Because it's not all the time we say we blame the player or blame the coach. This man sometimes, Eric Chell, we now see him walking like he's been controlled. And I don't think he likes it. One of the reasons why he left Malian football is that reason. But let's talk about Nigerian Football Federation. Do you see them good enough, competent enough, administrative-wise? Do they even know this game? Because I've made my research and I've checked all of the names there. I can't find anything so tangible about these personalities.
personalities in the board of
administration, NFF, right?
Well, you see that whether we like it or not, I don't know them in person and I don't have their CV.
But we can see things.
They are not the one that we can see. We can't see them.
But we can see
if
their
I
jobs.
ask you to mention
What about their jobs?
5 of their names now,
Why
can
not?
you mention them?
I will.
Okay.
I will mention them.
That is fine. Having said that, I don't have their CV, so I don't know whether or not they are competent or they are fit for that job. But you know that you will interface with the coach, and then you see the players come on board and they perform on stage. So most of the insults, most of everything is being poured on the players. So whether or not you can see Osimhen, he did well, others were just being sluggish on the pitch. Is it the admin that told them not to participate?
Okay, let's get it right.
Is it the admin?
It might not be at the admin, but let's get it right from that part. You now sound more like the other side because
no,
you're
you
trying to
agree with
the
me.
blame on
See,
the players.
well, I say that I'm not disputing the fact that there's corruption in the system. Corruption is there, and it has eaten the system so badly. 10 over 10, fine. People try as much as possible to bring their family members to ensure and then force it on the coach to play that person. It also has effect in their productivity. If the right person is not being paraded, the right players are not being paraded for a particular football. So, and then that is certain. But however, most of those players we saw, is he Iwobi you want to talk about? He's playing in the Premiership. Is he, what is it called? The other one now in Atletico Madrid. Lookman. Is he Osimhen?
But can you say this thing? Can you say all of this you're saying at the last Nations Cup? We saw them. They got to bronze. They played a good, decent football. They got numbers. Their goals were numbered. They were looking like a team to win it. They look as a favorite during the tournament.
Is it not the same player we used to play the World Cup? They are the same set of players.
So what about we talking about the recent?
So what then happens to them? The recent is just this game we played. The major game we have played, apart from other games, is just this game we played against Jordan.
Now I'm talking about the recent tournament, major tournament.
Is it the World Cup qualifiers?
The recent AFCON we played.
We played well. We tried our best. We got to a stage, and then what happened. At least we made it.
I'm trying to hold on to the parts where you talked about, you made mention, if you're not doing your job well, you should be laid off. You just talked about Gattuso. You don't know him in person. You cannot tell me you don't know Nigerian Football Federation in person. I will just tell you some of the names just to remind you. The Glass House, so people you know. Let me not talk about Mohamed Sanusi, the secretary. Let's talk about Ibrahim Musokozo. That's the NFF president. Should we talk about the players you know who work with him? Iguavon is also there. He's been technical advisor. He owns the job anytime he wants it. Ikpeba is also there. Gabalawa is also there. Babangida is also there. So these are players you know. Now, you might not want to talk about this, but I just feel like you don't want to talk about it because if you're saying...
No, I have used the word.
No, aside the corruption
I have used the words that if it's not corruption, why are we not getting
But why are they still on the job?
Yes, it's because the system is bad. The system condones people who are grossly incompetent. The system is bad. Otherwise, once you are not doing well, my position all over the years, and I will say it and I will continue to say it again, if you are not fit and proper for the job, you should be dismissed. Nobody reinforce failure. I don't reinforce failure. I don't celebrate failure all over the world. But people who are feeding fat from corruption, they will come out to reinforce that. So that point is certain. I will speak as it is, and I'm saying it that corruption have eaten deep into the system, and that is why we're not getting the best results on the pitch. It's affecting everybody.
Yeah, do you go with the same?
It's the same thing that's affecting, is it Chelsea or what? Once the foundation is bad, the board is bad, you will see it on the pitch.
That's exactly my point. Exactly my point. Because
I agree with you. But however, the players can also pick up and say, no, I'm bigger than this. I'm on the pitch. I need to show that I'm a class. I'm a brand. I want to go to World Cup. Do you know that maybe apparently now Osimhen is at his peak.
Yeah.
Maybe he may not be as exceedingly well that he's doing now in another next 4 years.
Yeah, because the next World Cup after now is 2030.
He may drop.
Not,
I don't know how old he is right now.
He's 27.
27, and then he'll be 31, 32 then. So how will you correlate that? And that is why somebody like him, you saw the passion. in the face of Osimhen. You saw the zeal, you saw the ability, you saw the hunger in the face of Osimhen that I want to participate in this World Cup. Others they're being so lazy, people like Iwobi. I think he has participated in the World Cup previously.
Yeah, he's been on the World Cup before,
so
2018.
I don't think Osimhen have made any one.
No, never.
So you see it, such people will be hungry.
We have two.
Others.
I think Ndidi, we used to have three: Ekong, Ndidi, and Iwobi.
You see my point. So you see how it is. Osimhen is a class, it's a brand, it's a world-class striker. If we want to be at the World Cup.
The reason why we talk about this, right? The reason why we talk about some of these things is these are things we expect people to be saying or talking about. This is like the back scene. That is like a phase where we don't see. Now, I love passion. I'm passionate about what I do. You can see. I love to do this. I want to do this. You'll see. Now, even without the money, I will want to do it. But what motivates the passion is the money.
Yeah.
These players are not motivated like they should be at times. I recall a lot. I still suffer from injury, even though he's playing at Nottingham Forest. When you're injured, basically how it's done. When you're injured in the national team, club side love to take responsibility. We've seen a lot of players who have played for Nigeria, the nation, ex-international, who are hungry today. I think I could say I'm even more richer than some of them. They represented the nation. I've not represented Nigeria to high level to that point. I only did in under 14, 15, and 16 as well. But aside that was just a league football, MPFL, not the national team. So this motivation we're talking about, it's true we can talk about the players, the resilience, how they played, and also determine. We know all of those things. But I'm just talking about, because what we are doing, this body that governs the game wants us to just put our blames on the players and we forget about them. These guys are earning every time. They pay them every month. We hear players go, okay, the recent one, Eric Chell, Pesero, all of the story, old. This manager currently took us to the Nations Cup. He was old, 1 to 2 months. He wasn't paid. Now they are saying he must oversee the contract. So it's a lot. If I'm working for you and you're not motivating me with what I need, then I don't think you just put the blame on the players. And these players know all of these things. Well, that being said, okay, let's talk about this one, asking Eric Chell. There's a report that says that Eric Chell might be joining the Ghanaian internationals. I don't know. It's still a speculation out there because the World Cup is big. If Eric Chell leaves the Super Eagles, how are we going to take it? Are we going to be happy to let Eric Chell go, or should the Franco-Malian be decisive and say no to the Super Eagles? He is one man I've never seen the fans love. The fans love him so, so much. And he wants to stay back if he has his way. But, like I talked about motivation, if Eric Chell turns back tomorrow and you see on paper, Super Eagles coach resigns, whatever contract he has with the NFF, and say, I want to do the job for Ghana, because we only talk, and at the end of the day, we can't even do Eric Chell anything. He sees off his contract, takes Ghana to the World Cup, increases his resume, as his CV, and becomes a coach who has taken a team to the World Cup. He said he wants to manage Real Madrid someday. So what will you say about that if you see Eric Chell in Ghana for the World Cup?
Well, I will not be surprised. Like you said, we don't have the system that tend to motivate people who are in charge. And that is what is happening clearly. The back end, they are not supportive. They're just there for their selfish interests. And that is what we are seeing in what is it called? In our football atmosphere right now. So for me, I think that I wish him well. It is right. You can't force a willing employee under an unwilling employee on a willing employer. We may be willing, but he may not want to. So for me, I think that what we need now is we need to go back to the drawing board. We have lost out of the World Cup. We have lost out. Admitted. Nothing is bad in failing because failure is part of the system. But admitting that you failed and then you are putting all the best to ensure that you get a positive result matters.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being part of the show with me. Was a very good time talking. I love the part that we had to drag the NFF talk. You sounded like you don't want to talk so deep, but thank you so much. It was great having you on the show. I hope we can do this another time.
Thank you. We're available for your service.
All right. Thank you so much. Show Lagos, Nigeria. Let's get back to talking ways. And quickly, just a reminder about the nations that have made it to the World Cup from African shows. Let's bring you on your screen so you can see Morocco, Senegal, Cape Verde, and Ghana. All of these teams made it to the World Cup. And we must say congratulations to these teams and how far they've come. We just bring you that one. And no Super Eagles, no Nigeria, you can say, it still continues to grow. which day, which way Nigeria? When will the Super Eagles make it to the World Cup again? Should we start bearing the stocks, or should we look back and say, yes, we can make it? How long can we keep talking? Because I say it all the time. Mouths are waggling and eyebrows is being raised. Look at your screen. Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, Algeria, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Cape Verde, and South Africa, and DR Congo are the teams that have made it to the World Cup. But right now, let's switch our attention to tennis. Now, the tennis story, I'll quickly just bring you this one. While we wrap up with Jack Draper, we draw from the that's the Monte Carlo's, Masters. Jack Draper has the latest start of this very one, of his court clay season by pulling out of the Monte Carlo Masters. The British star has been hoping to kickstart his 2026 clay court season in Monte Carlo and tennis between 5 to 12 April. But his quest for a maiden clay court title will have to wait. It remains to be seen whether Draper will play at the next scheduled event after an armed injury that derailed his 2025 season. The Barcelona Open, which runs from April 13 to 19. The 24-year-old returned to action during the Great Britain Davis Cup victory against Norway in February, having played just one match since Wimbledon in July before completing in Doha. He's made a superb run to the quarterfinals at the Indian Wells earlier this month as defending champion, defeating former world number 1 Novak Djokovic in the round, that's the 4th round, and then losing his opening match at the Miami Open to Rally or Becker. So we go from that one and talk about 15-time major champion Tiger Woods. One thing I say all the time, I love Tiger Woods, and this man is a top-notch man, 15-time major champion. We can't take away anything from a man who has said, I will stick with the PGA Tour. And the recent one is Tiger Woods has stepped away from golf, and just for a period of time. He just loved the court. He wants to be on the court. If he has his way, he will continue doing this. But we had the recent one where he got off the game. And then right now, Tiger Woods has confirmed that he will be stepping away for a period of time from golf to seek treatment following his latest car crash in Florida. Woods was arrested for driving under the influence of DUI on March 27 after being involved in a car crash where his Land Rover rolled over following a collision with a pickup truck. Now, the statement reads, the 50-year-old was held under Florida law for the mandatory 8 hours before being released on bail, with an incident report released by the Martin County Sheriff Office of March, and that's on March 31, revealing Woods admitted to looking his phone moments before the clash. Now, this is a statement from Tiger Woods. He said, I know and understand the seriousness of the situation I find myself in today. I am stepping away for a period of time to seek treatment and focus on my health. This is necessary in order for me to prioritize my well-being and work towards lasting recovery. I'm committed to taking the time needed to return in a healthier, stronger, and more focused place. Both personally and professionally, I appreciate your understanding and support and ask for privacy for my family, loved ones, and myself at this time. So that's a statement from Tiger Woods, and that is very emotional. So lastly, let's talk about one man, the Japanese McLaren story, where we have the Andre Stella says Oscar Piastri. He's in the news and then has been an inspiration to what he does and also to McLaren after bouncing back from a nightmare start of the season with a podium start in that Japanese Grand Prix. Piastri was unable to start the opening 2 races in Australia and China, crashing on the way to third grid in Melbourne before suffering a mechanical fault in Shanghai, but did not let disappointment affect him in Japan as he qualified third and finished second behind race winner Kimi Antonelli. The McLaren driver was actually in a position to win the race, but lost out to Antonelli through a safety car period, but still impressively fended off the other Mercedes of George Russell and Ferrari Charles Leclerc. Lastly, let's talk about Chisora, the boxing story right now. Well, we want to say this one, big fight. We want to say this happened. Derek Chisora welcomes Tyson Fury and also Anthony Joshua. Now, Derek Chisora is gearing up for the 50th and final bout for his decorated career on Saturday. And while one of the British boxing toughest fighters prepares to bow out, he remains as big as a fan of his support as a body. Now, such in the case, he has championed the return of Tyson Fury with the knowledge that all roads could still lead towards a long-awaited all-British clash with Anthony Joshua. Fury returned to the ring in April when he took on Asbalek Mokshinov at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Now, let's talk about Chisora. You have on your screen, he said, I'm happy to be back. I'm happy he's back because we can finally get into a big fight with him and Anthony Joshua. I see Anthony Joshua winning that fight in 4 or 5 rounds. Chisora, now 42, was speaking ahead of what is set to mark his career-closing fight against John Wilder at the O2 this weekend. It took up 2 decades of his role among the most prominent names In British boxing, a star-studded resume of opponents featuring Fury, Vitaly Klitschko, David Haye, Alexander Usyk, and the latter of whom has previously created Chisora as one of the toughest fighters. So this is where we call it a close on the show today. Thank you so much for being on the show with us. We had fun having our guests right here on the show today. Also, that very conversation was great. And then it's time for me to sign out. We have the Midday News coming up for 12, and do well to join the guys later, 5 p.m. Nigerian time, the Locker Room Show. That's the sports show, strictly football. And while Ikechukwu returns tomorrow to take you through to where you need to be. And I must say, lastly on the show, congratulations to every team that has made it to the FIFA World Cup. No Super Eagles, it's no longer scary. Thank you so much. Do have yourself a very great time. It's still good morning to say Happy New Month, Lagos, Nigeria.
In a world where power shifts with every headline,
In a nation full of questions,
in a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world, because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV, now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We bring in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Welcome to Golden Tulip, where every stay is a celebration of comfort and style. Discover beautifully designed rooms crafted for your relaxation and peace of mind. Savor delicious, expertly prepared meals at our exceptional restaurants. Relax and socialize at our elegant lounge bar. Refresh yourself at the vibrant pool bar and enjoy a soothing swim in our sparkling pool. Planning something special? Our spacious and sophisticated hall provides the perfect setting for weddings, conferences, and memorable events. Whether for business or leisure, we deliver excellence with unmatched hospitality. Comfort, class, premium experience. Book today and elevate your hospitality experience. Airport Golden Tulip. Stay golden. Live golden.
VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Africa is on the move, a continent of rising voices, untold stories, and powerful transformations. From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Nairobi, from the mines of Congo to the tech labs of Cape Town, the African story is being written every day. Bold, dynamic, unstoppable. This is African News on Voice of the People Television. We don't just bring you the news. We analyze and bring you Africa's heartbeat, the politics that shapes our nations, the economies that drives our future, the cultures that defines who we are, the voice that must be heard. Africa News, Africa's voice, Africa's future. Where Africa speaks, the world listens.
Hey guys, it's your girl Arika of the Dimples, aka Risky Baby, and you are watching VOP TV. Do not go anywhere. Where are you going to? Stay here. Calm down. Stay here if you're not.
What's up, everybody? Who's Ariko here, and I'm hanging out on VOP TV. Keep it locked, don't go nowhere. Let's go.
Hi everyone, my name is Yvonne Jagade. You are watching VOP TV, and don't change the dial, because I said so.
Who's happy to post? I mean, who's happy the most? Because when shit goes south, y'all be happy to ghost. When you make a wrong move, they be happy to roast. But be careful when you win, who's not happy to toast. I am VJ Adams, and you rock with VOP TV. Don't move.
Hi, people. Bisola here, and you are watching VOP TV. Mwah.
Shout out to VOP TV. It's so good to have you on the red carpet of AV. Love you all. Wishing you all the best.
Here's a shout out to VOP TV. It's your girl April Oshidikwe at the AV premiere. You know what it is.
Hi everyone, my name is Linda Ejiofor Suleiman, and I'm live at the EV premiere. Keep watching VOP TV.
I want to say hello to my Italian friends. I want to say them that Nigeria is the best country in the world, and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Hi guys, my name is Tomowatebe. I'm an actor, and you guys are live on VOP TV. Keep it locked, because I said so.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your girl Philly Storms out here, and this is a big shout out to VOP TV.
Hi guys, my name is Charles Bourne.
My name is Lydia Lawrence Nze.
Please keep watching Voice of the People television. Love ya.
Across several regions of Nigeria, communities continue to grapple with insurgency, banditry, and kidnappings, raising fresh concerns over whether increased defense spending is truly translating into improved safety for citizens. The security crisis shows no clear signs of abating in 2026. Reports indicate that no fewer than 1,091 lives have been lost to violent attacks. Additionally, about 3.7 million Nigerians have been displaced, now scattered across nearly 3,900 camps nationwide. In recent developments, at least 23 people were killed and 108 others injured following a series of suspected suicide bombings in Maiduguri, one of the deadliest attacks in the Borno state capital in recent times. These troubling figures continue to raise a critical question: what can be done to end insecurity in Nigeria? Responding, Nigeria's Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima restated the federal government's resolve to defeat terrorism, declaring that those behind recent attacks in the country will be decisively confronted. As Voice of the People TV, we sought the opinion of Nigerians on this growing concern.
The federal government, that's one of their major role in keeping the safety of Nigerians, as in they have to be very, very, very active in keeping the safety of Nigerians, because that's one of their major priorities. So, and again, as we individual, you have to be very, very vigilant. If you see someone that is not familiar with in your area or in your environment, you have to alert the security operations, because you can see if sometimes you might be in your street and you see some new strange faces around you. So when you see such thing, at least you can call the security or maybe the vigilantes in your area. So with this, we can be able to curb the insecurity in our area.
The government should step up its action against it. Especially, I believe that the government has the capacity to do that. There was a time they were talking about state police. They need to hurry up in this issue of state police to equip them effectively, because the state police are people that will be taken from the indigenes, people that are familiar with the terrain. So this kind of people can easily understand what's going on around them. They can easily arrest the situation, because it has gone to the level that the insecurity issue cannot be downplayed.
Everybody is feeling the pains here and there. The security is, in fact, is a major issue that I pray that our president and his men will be able to tackle so that Nigeria be more safer. Because without insecurity, the economy cannot really move. And without insecurities, nobody can be at peace. Without insecurity, even government itself will not be at rest. So we pray that sincerely, this government will have the courage to tackle the insecurity aspect. Once that is settled, I know Nigeria will be better.
As the nation continues to seek lasting solutions, many hope that decisive actions will be taken to restore peace and safeguard lives across the country. Matthew Okunswada, reporting for Voice of the People Television.
Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
Well, hello and welcome to the Midday News on Voice of the People Television. I am David Edwin. First, the headlines. Leaders promise action after deadly attack. Plateau relaxes curfew in Jos North local government area. Ministers reaffirm fight against insurgency. Lawyer urges end to early political activities. Minister's resignation flawed Abuja as Tinubu's deadline passes. Police stop task force from traffic duties. And in business, Adeleye Falade assumes office as new NLNG MD and CEO. In sports, several big teams failed to qualify for tournament. And in entertainment, Celine Dion announces major comeback after rare health battle. And now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu of Nigeria and Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang have vowed to ensure justice for victims of the deadly attack in Jos. The assault on Agwan Rukuba in Jos North local government area left 28 persons dead. The president condemned the killings, describing the attackers as heartless and determined to cause chaos. He has directed security agencies to track down those responsible and prevent further violence. Governor Caleb Mutfwang says Plateau State will not bow to fear or intimidation despite the tragedy. He confirmed that security has been reinforced, a curfew imposed, and the suspects already arrested in connection with the attack. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Bar Association has described the killings as gruesome and unacceptable. Opposition leaders are also demanding urgent and decisive action to end the growing insecurity across the country. Moving on to other stories, the Plateau State government has eased the curfew in Jos North local government area. The new curfew hours are now 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily. The decision follows improved security after a recent attack in Agwan Rukuba. Residents can now attend to their normal activities within the permitted hours. Authorities have urged citizens to remain calm, vigilant, and law-abiding. Security agencies continue to monitor the area to maintain peace. The curfew was initially imposed after gunmen killed at least 28 persons in that area. The government also said the adjustment reflects efforts to restore lasting stability. Moving on, Defense Minister Christopher Musa and Minister of State for Defense Bello Matawalle have arrived in Maiduguri to assess the war against insurgency. The high-level visit comes as Borno State faces a fresh wave of security threats. The minister met with the theater command of Operation Hadinkai. They were briefed on recent successes, including the neutralization of over 280 terrorists during the Ramadan period. Troops also successfully disrupted major logistic networks and rescued several abducted civilians. During the visit, a new command and control center was inspected to boost intelligence gathering. The minister also commissioned new housing for personnel to improve troops' welfare. They later laid wreaths at the military cemetery to honor those who have fallen in line of duty. The visit is critical following a bloody march, recent explosion at the Maiduguri post office and Monday market, killing 23 persons. The minister assured the state government that federal operations will be sustained until lasting peace is restored to the northeast. Human rights lawyer Femi Falana is calling for an immediate stop to all political campaigns across the country. He argues that early electioneering is damaging governance and fueling national insecurity. Falana noted that under the Electoral Act of 2026, public campaigns should only start 150 days before the polls. With the presidential election set for January 2027, he says current rallies and defection celebrations are illegal. The senior advocate warned that elected officials are abandoning their duties to focus on the next one. He linked this neglect to the rise in kidnapping and poverty. He also criticized the use of public funds for these early campaigns. Falana is now urging INEC, the police, and the DSS to enforce the law. He insisted that the government must prioritize the safety and welfare of Nigerians over political interest. Meanwhile, a wave of resignation has hit the Federal Executive Council as the March 31st deadline for political appointees seeking elective office expired last night. High-level officials are stepping down to prepare for the 2027 general elections. The Minister of Transportation, Saidu Ahmed Akali, and the Minister of State for Humanitarian Affairs, Yusuf Sununu, are among the top officials who have resigned. Akali is reportedly eyeing the Gombe State governorship seat, while Sununu is also expected to contest in the upcoming cycle. They joined Foreign Affairs Minister Yusuf Toga, who resigned earlier this week. Sources at the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation reported that approximately 40 resignation letters were received by nightfall. This includes heads of federal agencies and parastatals. One confirmed exit is Ahmed Galadima Aminu, the Executive Secretary of the PTDF, who is set to run for the Adamawa State governorship seat. In a surprise turn, the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, failed to submit a resignation, despite long-standing speculation about his interest in the Oyo State governorship seat. His decision to stay on effectively rules him out of the 2027 race under current electoral guidelines. President Tinubu's directive follows the Electoral Act of 2026, which requires appointees to vacate their position well ahead of the polls. The presidency is expected to announce acting replacements for the vacated ministries in the coming days. Meanwhile, former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has just arrived at the Federal High Court sitting in Kaduna State. The court is expected to rule on his bail application this morning following a high-level legal standoff. El-Rufai was brought to the court premises under heavy security for the continuation of his trial. This follows yesterday's session where the judge adjourned the ruling on his bail until today. The former governor is currently facing a 10-count charge in the court. The allegations include money laundering and the illegal conversion and possession of public property. He has remained in custody for over a month with a brief released recently granted on compassionate grounds. Legal terms and observers are now seated at the court as the court prepares to deliver its decision. A positive ruling could see the former governor released today, while a denial would mean a return to detention as the trial moves forward. In the meantime, the newly appointed Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Fatai Tijani, has ordered the immediate withdrawal of the state task force from all traffic control and enforcement duties. The move is aimed at restoring professionalism and accountability to the state's transport sector. Police spokesperson Abimbola Adebisi clarified that while the task force is banned from traffic duties, their mandates regarding environmental sanitation and special offenses remain in place. Motorists are now advised to verify the identity of any personnel attempting to enforce traffic laws. The order follows a massive public backlash triggered by a viral video. In the footage, task force operatives were accused of setting up a motorist by driving his car into footage. Task force operatives were accused of setting up a motorist by driving his car into a one-way street to create false evidence for extortion. The Lagos State Police Command has launched a full investigation into this allegation of unlawful arrest and bribery. The CP reiterated that any officer found undermining the dignity of the force or the rights of citizens will face strict disciplinary action. Moving on, the federal government has evacuated 1,230 Nigerians from the Republic of Niger. The move follows rising political instability and security concerns in the country. Officials say the evacuation was carried out in 2 batches, with returnees arriving in Kano on March the 23rd and March the 29th. The operation was supported by international partners, including the International Organization for Migration.